we got to talk USC recruiting because just before the show started, huge news. Jerome Miles, top 5 wide receiver in America, just chose the USC Trojans. They landed a 5-star commitment. Lincoln Riley's 20th commitment of the 2025 cycle is a big one. Now, Miles is from Utah. Like I said, top 5 wide receiver in the country. We're going to break this all down. I got Scott Schrader from We Are USC on this video. Just a huge win for USC on the recruiting trail. And speaking of huge wins, we got to talk Prize Picks. I love playing Prize Picks, and I hit big this week on a touchdown play. I had Kyron Lacey of LSU for more than 0.5 touchdowns. I had Jalen Milroe for more than 1.5 rushing touchdowns. Bang, they both hit. This week, I'm going back to what works for me. Travis Hunter on the more than 99.5 yards receiving. I'm going Dylan Raiola Friday night, more than 222.5 yards passing. Now, give me your locks of the week. I need some more picks. I want to get some Saturday selections. You guys know how to play Prize Picks. It's super easy. You select 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their projected stats and place your entry. It's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Prize Picks makes it really simple. I make my picks. I submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. I love it. Prize Picks. I'm going to redeem myself. I need some more picks. I've won some. I've lost some. Guys, drop your locks in. Give me some Saturday selections. I showed you my Travis Hunter with Dylan Raiola pick, but let me know yours, comment section below. Prize Picks, here's what we're going to do. Go to prizepicks.com/inside scoop. Use promo code Inside Scoop and it receive a guaranteed $50 when you play 5. So all you got to do is play $5 and you get another 50. So go to prizepicks.com/Inside Scoop and use promo code Inside Scoop. That's Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All right. Let's bring on Scott Schrader from We Are SC. And Scott, 5-star wide receiver Jerome Miles comes off the board. He is USC's 20th commitment. How are the Trojans, how is Lincoln Riley able to pull this off?
Really, I think they do a really good job of recruiting this staff across the board. I think in years past there were maybe some guys they didn't pursue because of where they were located, just not feeling like they had a shot at getting some guys. And I also think USC's doing as well evaluating the guys they're recruiting as they've done in many, many, many years. So it's just the relentless pursuit of these guys. I think that there's a lot to sell offensively at USC. Even though most of the guys they're recruiting, we're looking forward to watching them play on defense. I think there were some guys that we're looking forward to see how USC did overall and how they looked offensively with the new quarterback change. And I just think when these guys get around the USC coaching staff and have some time to spend around the program, they feel like it's something that is pretty attractive for them.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit last week, you and I, about USC and these final spots. So we see 5-star wide receiver Jerome Miles. He's the 20th commitment in this class. And then we talked about adding some defensive line talent. And, hey, just this week, Floyd Buchard, one of the top defensive linemen in America, decommits from Oklahoma. So Floyd Buchard back on the market. I know USC was kind of involved with him. So was the Miami Hurricanes before he switched to the Sooners or committed to the Sooners. How do you feel now about where the Trojans stand?
He was a guy that I actually submitted a USC prediction for while he was finishing up his official visit in June. Mm-hmm. And I thought there might even be a commitment announced fairly soon after that visit. And it never happened. And like you just said, he ended up committing to Oklahoma. All of his choices were great options. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I found out that he had decommitted, I know USC had continued to pursue Eric Henderson. I think what happened with the decommitment was something that was in the works for quite a while, and I'm feeling pretty strong about USC's chances.
So do you still have your pick in because he committed to Oklahoma? It was a bit of a surprise. So did you change your pick, or is it still on USC and maybe on the second time around you can hit on it?
Well, the one thing that I have learned with doing predictions is you could submit a prediction, the kid can commit to the school that you're covering and then flip his commitment, and if you leave that USC, in my case, prediction on you get it wrong. So I pay attention to what these guys are doing after they decide to not maybe either commit or flip from USC. So I switched it to Oklahoma back before he announced for the Sooners.
Well, it might be
And
time
then
to switch it again.
I did. I actually I submitted a USC prediction at I think 65% confidence
Okay.
a couple days ago.
All right. So what's the next step for Floyd Boucard? I mean, does USC need to get him back on campus in order for this to go down? Or do you think that they did enough during the summer to show Floyd what USC is all about, and maybe they can just, recruit him via phone, telephone, all that?
I haven't really had conversations about like a when part of getting him back on campus, but yes, it's a big priority to get him back on campus. And I think going forward with USC and the out of state guys, they're going to put a premium on trying to get him out there, like 3 times before they would ultimately sign. I know that's not going to be the case, obviously, with everybody, but it's a lot easier to get these guys out to whatever school that you're coaching at nowadays with NIL and whatnot. So, yeah, it's a big priority to get them out there. I mean, you got to get these guys feeling as comfortable as they can when they're, one trip out to USC. Guys do commit and they do stick with them, but the chances when it comes down to crunch time and actually signing the paper, you need that comfort level's got to be extremely high for somebody like Floyd Boucard.
Yeah, you got to get a certain amount of points of contact in person for you to really feel good about that relationship going forward. All right, so we talked last week about these final spots, and now it gets even tighter with Jerome Miles now committing 20 total commitments, as I said, for USC. So, Scott, how do you think Lincoln Riley will deal with these final spots? Does he wait and see if any under the radar names emerge this fall? Does he put the scholarships in his back pocket and go to the transfer portal in the offseason, or does Lincoln Riley double back on a few of these top guys that maybe committed elsewhere that they lost out on and try to flip them?
There's a combination of guys that are committed to other schools and then guys that kind of have emerged through evaluating them as the season's gone on. Some schools have already played like 5 games, so that's a pretty good sample size. Usually they typically wait for 3 games and then schools will send off the huddle film or whatever they have to the coaches. But they're hoping to add a couple more offensive linemen, and there's a Tennessee commit in Douglas Utu from Bishop Gorman that they're pursuing, hoping to get him out for an official visit. I still know they're talking to Aaron Dunn, who committed to Utah. The day before he announced for Utah, we thought he was going to end up at USC. So there's guys like that. On Friday, I'll go see Alex Graham, cornerback commit for Colorado. Doug Belk might be there to see him, so they're still pursuing him. Dorian Brew committed to Oregon, another cornerback. So there are guys that I think most of the guys that they would hope to add to the 2025 recruiting class are actually committed to other schools. And another kid that I should mention from right here in Georgia, I'm in Atlanta still, is Joseph Mbachu. I don't know how to say his last name.
Mbachu, he's out of Georgia, yeah. Committed to Florida.
Yeah, he's committed to Florida. So he's another guy they hope right now the plan is to get him out to USC for October 12th. It's going to be a big weekend that weekend when USC plays Penn State.
All right, USC fans, today's all about Jerome Miles, another 5-star addition to this 2025 class. Talk to Scott and I. Let us know how you want to finish the cycle. Who are the top targets on your board? Let us know. Comment section below.